Hello everyone and welcome to Faithful to Big Brother, where we are discussing day 7.
I'm laughing at myself.
Day 7.
I'm entertaining myself. Carry on.
We're discussing day 7. It's been a whole week, believe it or not.
Whole week.
We've now got scurvy of Celebrity Big Brother 2025. Hello, I am Ben, your host.
Hello everyone, I'm Alex. Hope you're doing well. I'm also a host or a moderator. Not moderator, I'm a contributor to the podcast.
You are.
Of that is Faithful to Big Brother. Hope you're all well. Another nominations, more nominations.
More nominations, rule breaks.
A rule break.
Failed shopping task. First shopping list written.
More nagging and complaining from someone who doesn't complain and isn't bothered, but she's very bothered.
Right.
And
Patsy.
yes. And we'll discuss the LA-NY divide very soon,
very
despite neither of them coming from America. I love the fact that Trisha considers herself as like a New Yorker.
Interesting.
Female John Oliver.
I've noticed as well the first viral moment of Celebrity Big Brother has been Patsy and Michael. It's been all over everywhere, the soundbite. So it's broken through.
Which one's that? Remind me.
It was Patsy says...
You should have it all
I know I should, but
ready.
I don't. Patsy goes, is there a reason you wear that wig? And then
yes.
Michael goes, I'm nominating Patsy.
Yes.
And that's so there you go.
Do you know what else
Celebrity
is
Big Brother's
viral?
broken through. What?
Us. We're viral on TikTok.
Yes. Well,
We're a virus now and we're all over TikTok. You can find us, by the way, on TikTok, Instagram and Threads by looking at Faithful2Podcast. You can find us on Blue Sky at faithful2podcast.bsky.social. We're on YouTube. You can watch this podcast in video form on YouTube. Search Faithful2Podcast or Faithful2 Big Brother Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and comment underneath the video if you have any thoughts or theories about what's happening in the house right now. You can also watch us and listen to us on Spotify and listen to us on Apple Podcasts or any of your favourite podcast apps. Just search Faithful2 Podcast. And of course, you can comment on them as well and give us 5 stars if you enjoy listening to the podcast. Share us with your friends. And if you want to help us monetarily, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/faithful. And on there, you can give us a £5 donation toward the show, just like
Hannah has done, who has said, I found myself going to your podcast as my go-to for The Traitors, which is our other podcast.
We do another
everyone.
podcast
Hence
about The
our name
Traitors.
being called Faithful 2... The Traitors.
It's just a lucky coincidence that we thought, you know what, that works for other
That
things.
could work.
That works, that does.
And now now on Big Brother, you're both brilliant and sending a lot of love. Kiss, kiss.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the coffee, the nomination.
Yes.
We do appreciate it. We really do.
I
So
appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Keeps our neon light on in the background.
It does.
So-
We got a little man under here who's kind of crunking the chains just to make the electricity go. And he needs to be paid.
And you can comment on our YouTube as well, which a few people have. But I just want to read out Jordan, who says, I much prefer watching this podcast than Late in Live. So, although I watched Late in Live on Sunday, and
It was a mess.
well, yes, they were in the garden, but Will was there in the hot tub in his
in his
mermaid outfit.
He's let his nip slip.
Mm-hmm.
So not only it's happened twice now in Big Brother this series, some nipple
And there was a
slippage.
weird thing where Ali, last year's winner, was talking and said she wasn't too sure about Trish, and who was the mermaid who said the apology
And I
letter?
couldn't remember her name, so
Oh,
that's
what's
why
her
I
name?
quickly moved
Her,
on.
whatever her name is, the redhead. She was like, "Nah, I don't agree with you." There was a bit of tension between
There
those two. I
was.
saw on
There
the
was.
sofa in between Jordan and Henry. So that was interesting. That's a podcast in itself, I think. So we do 2 podcasts a day.
Lauren.
Late in Live. Yeah, Lauren, that was it.
Lauren the Mermaid.
We'll do the Late in Live podcast as well, just to keep us going.
Shall we? 2 podcasts a day? I don't think I could
no.
cope. I
No.
liked the fact that they brought back Psychology Corner in BBLB. Oh, no,
Yes.
it's not called BBLB. That's Big Brother's little brother.
BBLL.
God, that's really going back.
LAL.
No, it's
Late in Live.
BBLL. BBLL.
LAL. Late and Live.
But they don't use the A. They just say LL. So the hashtag is BBLL. CBB UK.
Well, anyway.
BBBBB.
Yeah, they brought back Psychology Corner, which is what they used to do in the old days when
the old
Big Brother
days?
wasn't. It was still on Sunday, but it was like a different show. It was like edited differently, and they had a psychologist talking about what they
Yeah.
were doing in the house when it was an actual social
It was
experiment.
still seen as a social experiment on Channel 4. And they used to be my favourite episodes as well. And I was always a bit disappointed when they got rid of those.
They were on late, weren't they, on a Sunday? I remember.
Well, it was basically their Sunday
repeated,
episode.
yeah.
So they'd show basically what had happened the day before, but also they kind of intertwine what happened in the week with the psychologist kind of talking about about what had happened. But do you know what else I missed from the old days of Big Brother? And no one, I don't think anyone. Well, of course,
Davina McCall.
Of course, Davina. Although I love AJ. Do not swear.
And Will. And Brian and Emma.
Will. Who's Ryan?
Brian and Emma. The other two hosts. Emma Willis and Brian.
Oh, Brian Downey. What about Rylan? He hosted.
Oh, yeah. What about Russell Brand? He hosted it too.
That was a time. No, I miss the live tasks on a Saturday. I know no one watched them, and that's why they dumped them after like one attempt. But
can't remember them.
Yeah, there you go. They did it. They started doing them in series 3, and they do a live task on a Saturday. Oh, they'd always go wrong because people you can't
run at a time. Basically.
You can't basically control cats. You can't like herd cats, as the term goes. And so when you're trying to it's like when they're doing on the launch night when they're trying to get something up together.
A twist, yeah. They give it to someone like Louis Walsh who doesn't know what he's doing. So then it adds on about 70 seconds just to get him into a door.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, that's
the past. Let's look at the present.
We've today we have got lots of things. What do you want to talk about first? We've got rule breaks. We've got nominations. We've got Ella, Jojo.
We'll do nominations in a minute, but I think it makes perfect sense to let's talk more about Ella because Ella really is doing the I don't care, I'm not bothered, but clearly very bothered again and again. Every time she talks about something, she ends it with not really bothered though. Not really bothered. Don't give shits. Don't give 2 shits though. I don't care. Every suffix at the end of her conversation is not really bothered. And it's like, you are bothered, Ella. I wish she would just own it. I wish she would say, you know what, actually,
I'm surprised by this. I'm a bit bothered, but it's okay, or something like that.
Well, just say like, I hope.
Or just get over it.
I hoped that I'd have a friendship with Chris, and I'm a bit jealous of his friendship with Jojo. Maybe instead of talking behind their backs, maybe talk to them directly about it. But I think, especially with Jojo appreciates upfrontness and honesty to her. You can tell she does. She's American. They like to be very open. They like to be open books and talk about everything. And about the way they're feeling. And I think
unless you're from New York.
Yeah. No, New York's are the hard ones. It's the LA's are the softies. Don't forget.
The crystal.
Yes, the crystal waving hippies.
Fairies.
Yeah. And I think if Ella just spoke to Jojo about her and her relationship with Chris, then I think Jojo would be appreciative of it. But because she's talking behind her back and Jojo's heard her talking behind her back now, Jojo's being a bit standoffish against Ella, and it's just made matters worse.
Also, they might just not have anything in common. Like, it's okay for Ella and Jojo to not be friends or not have anything in common. A few people have said, like, me and Jack don't get on. There's nothing there. It's just like an interview between us. It's like, that's fine. So she doesn't have to be. And she has like a good friendship with Angelica going.
Yep.
She seems to have a good relationship with others, like Donna as well. It's like, well, why is she just focusing in being like, Chris is only talking to Jojo? It's really. And Angelica was actually, not just Ella, but Angelica was also saying, oh yeah, Chris only ever talks to Jojo, no one else. But it's like throughout the episode, you saw him talking to loads of different people.
It's me. Angelica did get snubbed though when they were doing the nominations, when Chris had come out of doing the nominations, and he went straight to Jojo and said, "All my shoulders hurt." And Angelica was like, "Are you okay, Chris?" And Chris was like, "Yeah, I'm great." So Jojo, and like that, and you could tell Angelica was a bit like, "Oh,"
she kept asking him, like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, she was desperately trying to get like Chris's attention.
Again, I think, why are you desperate to get his attention? Maybe the way to get Chris's attention is to not act bothered, and then he'll come to you.
Maybe.
Because at the moment, Ella and Angelica both seem to want his attention, and he's not giving it.
Chris and Jojo have just bonded, and they've bonded very quickly, and there's obviously a friendship that they want to nurture, and that's what it is. And I think it's almost like a safety blanket for Chris, and not so much for Jojo. I think Jojo's more accepting about mingling amongst the group, and she might start to feel a bit smothered by Chris. Maybe. I think if anyone's going to feel a little bit like maybe I'm missing out on things by being part of this group, this coupling between them. And when I say coupling, I don't mean a relationship as in like love or anything like that, as a friendship between them, the brother and sister friendship, which is
and she wasn't only massaging Chris, she was also massaging Danny. So
but I just think Chris sees Jojo as a security blanket, and he just came out of doing nominations. He obviously felt insecure and a little bit like bit worried what he'd said in
and
the
who did
diary
Chris
room.
vote for?
And he went straight to Jojo. Chris voted for Patsy and Trisha.
Okay.
The two people he said voted for each other in the rule break.
And they did.
And they did, yes.
And the reason which he thought was
identical, because he even said it in his rap, North, South, East and West. So he referenced to the reason why they would have voted for each other. So, Chris is switched on. But yeah, no, I think Ella, Ella. Sometimes people won't like you. It's the facts of life. Sometimes you won't like other people. It's the facts of life. Don't pretend that you're not upset by it though, and try to get a crowd behind you for the hate of Chris and Jojo, because she succeeded with Angelica. She tried it with Danny, and Danny was like, no, Jojo's during the shopping, when they were writing out the shopping list. Ella said like, oh, Jojo stuck her nose in and tried to take control.
Has she ever even done her own shop before?
She probably gets someone else to do her shopping for her. How dare she do this? And Danny was like, no, she was helping. There's no need for that, Ella. And then Danny went outside and got a massage from Jojo. So, don't try to get other people to dislike someone just because you don't. I know, again, that's her way of maybe feeling more secure within the house. She's obviously not found her place yet. As soon as Ella does, and I hope it's not by bad-mouthing Jojo and Chris continuously, because that's all she did. Like, every time, like, Chris, it was like, oh, Chris, you're stupid. Oh, Chris, that rap was stupid. And everyone's like, great rap, Chris. And she was like, no, it wasn't. It was crap. And it's like, Ella, you don't need to put someone else down to make yourself better.
Also, I feel like, quote Patsy Palmer as Bianca to Sonia on a podcast, you're being a bit of a mug. I think Ella,
that's an EastEnders reference.
It is through Patsy Palmer, so it is related. But like, I feel like this is just making Ella look like a mug, because it looks like she's just being chronically obsessed with finding a relationship, and it's just like, no. So you know that task like years ago on Super Brother, when someone came in, they went up and says, he's mugging you off, darling.
Yeah, that's what we need. Blue, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Lee from Blue. We need Ella's mum to come in and go, you're being a bit of a mug, darling. Yeah. And then she needs to leave.
Calm down, Ella. You're being silly, love.
Can we talk about as well the shopping task that they failed for multiple offences?
Yes.
And how Chris in the diary room, is it Anti-Chris? I'm not sure. But he was very put off by his full day shift.
His day's work,
yeah. He hasn't done a day's work for years.
I must say.
Was it 6 hours?
8 hours? Claimed it was 16, it was 16 or 14 hours. He claimed it was more than half a day, which I don't feel like it was. And he said that it was very strenuous having to stand there and look for boats.
Yeah, it kept his mind on he was constantly focused all for hours and on end looking for boats and tentacles. And it was really, haven't done a day's work. That made me laugh.
Why am I yawning all the time?
Yeah, it's like,
why am I tired?
This isn't normal. Waking up yawning. It's like, all right, Chris, what life have you been living recently? I want a bit of it.
I must say that I did think to myself, oh, Chris, come on, put it away.
And he was patting himself on the back a bit too much. He was like, I've done a really good job.
And then when they said about the fails, one of them was that they weren't on the crow's nest. And Chris was like, no way, mate. No. Me and Jack were on the crow's nest. And even Jack was like, oh, no, there were a few times, Chris. Come on, you got to admit it. We were a bit laxical. And Chris was like, no, mate. No, I did my 6 hours. It kept changing as well. The hours, like 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours. I was up all night. It's like, come on, Chris.
He's like a brickie on the yard, isn't he? Full day shift. Come back from massage from his missus, Jojo. It's all,
but also, Chris was pointing the fingers at everyone else for failing the task. Yeah, but one of the reasons why they failed was down to Chris and Jack. And it was just the fact he was like, oh, when they said, like, and sometimes you weren't wearing a pirate's uniform. And Chris was like, oh, I told everyone, you bloody mugs. And it's like, oh, Chris.
I know. So, yeah, they failed. They just completely failed everything, basically. They took the mermaid's curse, which made it
Which was Chris
fishy.
As well, because Daly had said that Chris had made the decision with Danny without consulting anyone else. To be fair to Daly, he was right, because Chris and Danny did make that decision very quickly. I was like, yeah, all right, we'll take the food.
But also, I think Jack did as well, because they heard food and Jack was like, yeah, let's do it. So I think they would have just taken it anyway if it went to a vote. If Daly said, let's wait and vote, it probably would have gone to that anyway. But
like, how difficult was it for them to not to like have one day of maybe not eating as much food or just eating porridge all day? Because like that task was a 1 day task and it started not even in the morning. It started around about lunchtime in the afternoon.
Well, these celebrities haven't done an 8 hour shift. They've not done an 8 hour shift apart from Patsy and Jack on their soap. They have.
Could they not go without a luxury meal for one evening? This is what made it so ridiculous. Okay, they had failed probably anyway because of the whole lookout
everything,
and all that. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, come on.
I do wonder if they failed partly because that was in the middle of the whole Mickey thing, the fight night thing.
Yes.
So maybe they all sort of got a bit
bored and relaxed
and just didn't think about it. So maybe the next shopping task
They'll be a bit more switched on.
They'll keep switched on. But...
And as usual, when they're first writing out their shopping list after their first task, as usual,
Economy.
It's absolute chaos because it always is. Every series of Big Brother, the very first writing the shopping list, there's no system. They have no idea what they're doing. Everyone is out for themselves, wanting their own. They want Marmite. They want spaghetti hoops. They want sourdough bread. I love the Big Brother's whole
that's
Chesney.
Patsy. I bet that's Patsy.
Yeah, but Chesney asked for it, and this isn't an artisan bakery, Chesney. Wind your neck in. And it's like
it's brown or white.
Yeah,
bread,
brown
right?
or white. Well, see, they didn't offer best of both though, which for me would have been the option. Yeah, best of both.
Danny wanted chia seeds and something oil that upset Daly as well, didn't it? He wanted all these special fancy ingredients.
I mean, but
and Chris's diet apparently. If you want Chris's body, everyone
sketty hoops.
Yeah. Just hula hoop. No, not hula hoop. Sketty hoop. Nothing else. Nothing else.
Anything hooped. That's all he eats. Polos, hula hoops, spaghetti hoops.
So nothing else he wanted, which was all a bit weird. And I wonder, did they order him any?
Well, they kind of left it in the air, didn't they?
But I bet they forgot.
Well, they've either received their shopping or they haven't received their shopping, and we'll find out in the next episode whether Chris. I'm on tenterhooks. Will Chris get his spaghetti hoops? Find out in the next episode.
Because we know that when someone asks for one certain thing and they don't get it, it feels very personal. As we know last year from Tangfastics.
Oh, yes.
Remember?
And the biscotti spread.
Yes.
When they only got one jar and it got eaten by one person.
It gets very down and dirty when it comes to the shopping task, especially when there's a limited budget, when they fail tasks. So.
But it's like every series, it's like this is the one thing. Food is the one thing you can call yours. And that's why people want their own. And that's why they smuggle it. That's why they hide it. People want, their food is important to people. Why would Abby Branning not label her stuff in the cupboard? Because everyone was eating her food when she was in the cupboard.
Right.
Another EastEnders reference. Hope you enjoy them.
She should be on Celebrity Big Brother next year, shouldn't she?
Yes,
Lorna
she should.
Fitzgerald.
Lorna Fitzgerald. I don't think she would do it, though.
Don't care. Patsy's done it.
That's true. There's a precedent set.
Right, talking about Patsy then. Nominations. Trisha and Patsy are both up. And we did kind of predict this a few days ago, didn't we? We thought both of these two are going to be all pally and friendly and everyone likes them, but it's going to soon quickly turn. And it did.
Not
and
surprised
also
at all.
Jack, which is just a guarantee, I think.
They're the three I'm least surprised about. If anyone said to me, like, who would you be surprised to see up for nomination? I would have said Danny, or Chris. Although I was surprised by the number of nominations for Chris. I think people are like Jack, where his sense of humour isn't quite hitting most people and they're not seeing the humour. Because Jack said something genuinely funny. When they found out who was up for nomination, Jack said, they boo everyone when you leave the house. They even boo the winner. And I thought, spot on, Jack. That's a good point. And actually, Jack is warming to me now because they're beginning to show his more humorous side in the house. That's what we were waiting to see.
And I thought it was a bit unfair. Did Trisha nominate Jack, didn't she? And she was like, he's just starting to come out of his shell now, so I'm nominating Jack. I was like, well, why are you nominating him if he's coming out of his shell?
Starting to show.
It's like, that's a really... I was about to swear then, but it's like a really stupid thing to do.
Swear on here, Ben.
No, I was going to say...
Oh, don't say that.
Well...
You might have to beat that.
No.
Well, you're going to have to put an explicit warning now on the podcast.
No, I won't.
Well,
but I was going to say, it's a bit of a... It's a bit of a bad thing. Like, don't say, oh, he's coming out of his shell and then nominated him. It's like, well, what is he meant to do? Because last week you nominated him for being quiet and stuff. So, also, Jack nominated Ella because on eviction night, she said, can I have your bed? Kind of assuming he was going.
Yes.
And he couldn't even say no. And now he's had to swap round.
Another reason why I'm on board with Jack again.
Was she trying to get further away from Chris and Jojo? Is that what she's doing? Purposefully?
Oh, yeah.
Or is she trying to get closer?
She's making a point, isn't she? Yeah. She obviously chose a bed when they first came in next to Chris. And then now things are falling out. She's now going like, I don't want to be near Chris. Oh, he's thick. Oh, he makes my skin crawl.
So yeah, she's not very good at, if she wants to connect with Jojo, which she allegedly does, she's asked to move beds randomly, which obviously Jojo and Chris will probably notice if it was near them. It's like, and then she talked about Jojo quite loudly in the garden when she was in the garden too, and she also overheard. So not doing a very good job there.
But surprisingly, and whether this is a tactic or not, because she's worried maybe what people from the outside might think of her, Ella didn't vote for Jojo. She voted for Chris and Trisha. She said that she couldn't get in a conversation with Trisha. A lot of them said about Trisha, and this is something that we have pointed out on the show before, is that Trisha will turn the conversation and make it about Trisha. So you could go up to Trisha and say like, oh, I've got a pink nipple. And Trisha would be like, well, let me tell you about my conversation with Obama. And it'd be like, oh, okay, fine. And a lot of them said that they feel like they can't interrupt her. And so this is and it's a shame for, again, it's maybe that people aren't talking. They're very concerned in that house about everyone kind of liking one another. Like, it's a very joyful kind of house, isn't it? No one's kind of really said anything quite yet that's kind of a bit honest or hurtful.
Other than Danny Patsy,
in the Patsy.
And that went down like a buck of sick.
And that went to a nomination. Okay, fair. But like, I do think that if they said like, Trisha, I'm actually telling you something, and maybe I don't know, how would you approach that?
I don't think she
subject?
would accept that very well, though. If you did say it, I don't think she would say, oh yeah, okay, and then she'll sit and listen. I don't think she would. She would.
It's a difficult thing to approach, isn't it?
Yeah, she would get a bit frosty with it. So
I don't think she'd be frosty, but I think she'd get hurt because Trisha, for the three that got nominated, Jack and Patsy genuinely didn't seem to give a damn.
Patsy was delighted. Patsy,
she was. Yeah, she was like, I can't wait to see my kids. I can't wait to go home and
back to LA.
Yeah, and she said that every time she goes back to, she's worked for 9 months. She was another one crying poverty. Like
EastEnders, though, so long hours.
Yes, I was working
Night
9
shoots.
months. Well, she worked 9 months, and when she went back to LA, every time there were fires,
Yeah.
it was like, so you're the reason. No, so Trisha was genuinely quite upset by it, and there was something that did break my heart a little bit for Trisha, and she said that she's always been the odd one out, and she finds it hard to keep friendships. So it must be a bit like, oh, so it's happening in here as well then, I guess. So, you know, it must be not nice for this to happen to Trisha.
Well, maybe she needs to look inwards and find out
Well, she needs
why.
to be less New York and more LA and become more meditative, like Patsy. Maybe if she spoke again, look at me, I'm like, maybe if they just talk to each other, why can't everyone just get along? Maybe she spoke to Patsy and asked her about her technique, because Patsy was doing a meditation routine in the house. Then this is Big Brother scared the shit out of Donna. Yeah, like something, get involved with that. Patsy clearly is in a good place.
No, I don't think Trisha is going to get involved. She wants people to talk about her to her, ask her questions. It's not the other way around. I'm guessing the vibe of, because a few people have said that.
So I want anyone listening or watching from America to explain to me, I can get the gist of this, but what is New York and LA? Is there this genuine divide between like East Coast and West Coast?
LA is airy-fairy.
Yeah.
Patsy. Trisha, she said, we just get on with it, accept it, tough love.
But they're
and then
very
when she
liberal.
got nominated, she got upset.
Yeah, but New York and LA are quite liberal states.
But one's like more businessy, hipstery, and one's like more beachy, wavy, fairy, crystally, meditating.
Well, it's like Brighton and London.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you, Ben.
But it did make me laugh that Trisha said, she's from New York, even though they're both from the UK. But she was like, oh yeah, we're tough, we're hard, we just get on with things. And out of the three that were nominated, Trisha was the one who was most hurt and upset. So maybe she's not as New York.
That's true. She's not as hard as she thinks she is.
Maybe.
Who didn't get nominated? Daly didn't get a nomination. Chesney didn't get a nomination. And who else? Donna didn't get a nomination. I think that's all of them.
Okay. So a bit of a mixed bag.
Donna is like a silent kind of, she's kind of like staying under the radar, but there's moments when I love her.
I like Donna. She's she's good. She's one of my favourites. She seems like she doesn't seem like a celebrity. She just seems like a civilian in the house.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. And I like that her nominations were purely squarely on the fact that she had to sleep with fish. And to be fair, she got the raw end of the stick, really, because she had the bed where the fish was actually dripping next to her feet.
Mm-hmm. She's washed her hair 4 times. She's washed her hair 4 times and she still smells of fish. And she said, Chris, when
fishy.
it happened, yeah, Katie Price. She said Chris said he didn't know what it was, and then he laughed when she left, and then found out it was. But they didn't know it was going to be fish, did they? They just knew it was a curse.
Yeah.
So,
well, Jack and Chris both laughed at her.
Yeah.
And she took offence to
but
that.
she thought
which is
that they
fine.
knew, but I don't think they did. But whatever. So what about the rule break then? Quickly before we finish.
Well,
Chris and Donna.
Yes.
Were talking quite casually outside about. And Donna started it. She said, I want to tell you something, but actually, no, I don't think I can. She wanted to then end it. Chris was like, no, you can tell me. I won't tell anyone. It's like, What do you mean you're not going to tell anyone? You're being recorded.
You're being recorded 24/7, which is what Donna did try to point out to Chris. I think
Chris said that to Jojo at the beginning when she had the killer nomination. He was like, "You can tell me, just tell me. I won't tell anyone." And it's like, well, what do you mean, Chris?
Chris then always follows it up with some kind of like, this is what I'm thinking. So Chris is obviously using it as a gateway to encourage that person to then talk to him back. So Chris on this occasion said openly, I know who Patsy and Trisha are going to vote for. He clearly said that, so then Donna would, because then he was like, so tell me what you're thinking. Donna wisely then stopped her. So she said, no, we can't. Which is why I think I kind of get, although Chris said it in a jokey way when he was in the wheelie bin, that like, why am I the only one being punished? You should be punished too. I kind of get in Chris's mind why he felt that way, because he felt like Donna had started it, so she should have been punished as well. No. But Donna...
She didn't say anything.
That's it. She didn't go over the line while Chris had. So Chris was the one being punished for it.
Which is good.
It was a conversation about nomination. I cannot get over how strict ITV are. ITV's version of Big Brother is with nomination conversation.
Good.
Nomination conversation.
They should be strict. It's better because it makes the wheelie bin of shame.
It just got so much looser as series went on, and like in the old days, and like ITV.
That's because they kept doing face-to-face nominations, so it was impossible not to. I guess.
Of course.
But, you know, the wheelie bin of shame is good. Remember when they put Yimran in the jail as well, and she had to cry out a bottle of tears to say sorry?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So wheelie bin of shame was back. It wasn't an apology letter like last year.
Rap.
It was a rap, which white boy Chris rapping, people were worried, but he did okay.
I think he did a really good rap.
Yeah, people were impressed. Patsy was impressed.
Everyone was impressed, apart from Ella, who kept saying, "Yo, you're mugging me off." I'm not bothered, of course. Ella's not bothered. Anyone who listens to the podcast who's got tickets to go to like an eviction of Big Brother, can you please get a big sign that says, I'm not bothered, like for Ella? Please. I'd
dressed
enjoy
as
that.
Catherine Tate.
If I see it, I'll shout you out on the show, and we'll put a picture on the podcast. If you're watching video, if you're watching audio, if you're listening to audio, you can't watch audio. You can watch audio, I suppose.
Well, we're not doing any of that, so shut up.
Yes, we are. But Chris's rap was really, really funny, and as I said or alluded to at the top of the show, he kind of showed hints of why he thought Patsy and Trisha were going to vote. Patsy picked up on it as well, which I thought was brilliant, and that was the North, South, East, West divide, you know. So he knew what he was playing at. So Chris, 10 out of 10. His rap was good. He subtly put little hints in there, but done it in a way that it wasn't breaking the rules, perhaps. You know,
although at the end of the episode,
he almost broke the rules again.
Jojo was on the floor for some reason, and then she woke him up and like wrote a secret message on his hand.
Yes.
So that was going to be another rule break.
Well, you're not allowed. What is the rule? You're not allowed to do secret code
messages.
Yeah, secret messages to one another. And yeah, she wrote letters. Something. He said spell it out, so she was like spelling it out, and then he went and then turned over and went back to sleep.
So yes, I can't.
And Jojo was like that in like the bed next. Why was she on the floor anyway? I feel like
so she could do that. It's very planned, I feel.
Oh, don't start.
What?
Don't start the note in American Traitor Series 1 thoughts.
No, it was in her mind. No, not the producers. Her. She deliberately went there so she could do that, I guess. I don't know. Maybe she just feels nice and cozy, wedged between two beds like that. Like a little cocoon.
Good to be wedged.
So before we go, there's going to be a single eviction. It's not a double like it was meant to be because Mickey's gone. So it's going to be a single eviction. Jack, Patsy or Trisha. Who do you want to go? Who are you going to vote for? Who do you think will go?
I'm sorry, but who I'd like to see go would be Trisha.
Oh, really?
Out of the three, I actually don't think she's particularly participating much to the show. I think Patsy and Jack's now warming up. He just took time, and I feel like he's done the first 5 miles of the marathon.
Yeah.
He's now getting his pace and he's going for it. Patsy, she wants to go, and I want her to stay in for that reason.
Do you think the audience will not vote today because she was happy and she pretty much said the second it was announced that she was happy and fine to go and she wanted to go? Do you think?
No, because I don't think that washes with audience. I really don't.
No.
You've seen previous series of different reality shows where they say like, I really want to go, oh, I can't wait to leave, and normally they don't end up going. I don't think audiences have that kind of compassion in them because they know that like they're getting paid a good enough fee. You know, Pat, you know, she just wants her full fee and leave. You know, she doesn't want. You know, that's the only reason she wants to go. So no, keep her in the house. Be funny.
Okay, so you want Trisha to go?
I want Trisha to go.
Causes more. damage.
I don't think
her own career, maybe.
I don't think Trisha's going to cause damage in her own career, but I think she might get more and more upset because she'll feel like the people in the house don't like her very much. So for her own well-being, almost, I also want Trisha to kind of like just gracefully leave the show. I think it's a good time for her to go. And
3 of the oldest ones gone though.
It
Nikki,
always
Michael,
happens
and Trisha.
that way. The young ones always vote for the older ones. It's the same. The tale as old as time.
I mean, I don't think Jack's going to go. I think we know the Corrie vote is strong. I don't know how strong Patsy's vote is going to be, though.
Well, it depends on our EastEnders fans out there. Whether they're going to keep her in.
I don't know.
Whether they switch to ITV. Patsy wants to roll on Corrie, by the way. She wants to be Jack's wife.
So you could just stay on EastEnders, Patsy. You are literally on it right now on TV, but
well, obviously she had a 1-year contract, and that contract.
She can't go to Coronation Street. It's at the bloody pits, that show, anyway.
Wow! Sorry, any Corrie fans out there.
There isn't any left.
If you're enjoying the show of Coronation Street, then good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
Good for you, love.
Don't talk shite.
Right, so if you want to get in touch with us,
that means the show has ended, by the way.
Yes, but don't give up listening just yet, because you can get in touch and let us know how you'll be voting on. It'll be tomorrow night's.
I think so. Yeah.
So you can go to Insta, TikTok, and Threads at Faithful2Podcast. You can send us a DM on that. Blue Sky at faithful2podcast.bsky.social. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And comment underneath the video who you think will be evicted. How do you find us? Oh yeah, YouTube, Faithful2 Podcast, or search Faithful2 Big Brother Podcast. If you want to watch or listen to us on Spotify, you can comment on there as well, and Apple Podcasts on any of your favourite podcast apps you can listen to us on. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review on your favourite podcast app, and comment to say why you like listening to the podcast. Don't forget to share us with your friends. Tell us, share us on social media, and if you want to help us monetarily, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/faithful, where you can buy a nomination, and it helps fund the show. It keeps the lights on, like Ben says. There's someone under here right now doing a little run on a hamster wheel, but it's not a hamster.
Is it a cat?
Well, that's for you to find out.
Right then, so we'll next see you when we know who's evicted, I guess. Then.
Yes, exciting times.
Exciting. I'm going with Patsy. You're going with Trisha. We both think
it'll be Jack.
So see you tomorrow.